Hi there. So what you can see behind me is a drone taking off that hopefully isn't going to crash into me. So that's going up in the sky. Obviously I'm not operating it. I've got my photographer who is operating that drone. I'm currently here in Plymouth and I'm outside of my apart hotel in Plymouth, and although we did have professional photos done previously, and also Matterport, which is like street view for inside of property, so we had all that done previously. But do you know what, there's nothing wrong with getting your photos redone and updating your images, and you, if you just look at them and you think, do you know what, I wish we'd had a picture there, or I wish we'd have had a bowl of fruit on display there, or some flowers or a pot or plant or something like that in the pictures to just enhance it, create a colour pop, etc. And what I'm going to do with these professional photos is, when we get them through, I'll post some of those in the comments of this post, so that you can see the difference between professional photos and also iPhone or other smartphones are available photos. Hold on, getting a bit of sun, blimey, what's going on? And so I'll show you the difference. So what we've done is we've taken some photos, obviously professionally, and from the same camera angle used my iPhone, because that's the mistake an awful lot of people make, is they look at their iPhone photos for their SA units and they think, do you know what, they're okay. And when we're training people and mentoring people in serviced accommodation, we quite often do what we call listing optimization, and we'll give feedback on people's listings. And quite often the obvious one to give feedback on is when there's smartphone photos being used for the listing. And quite often people say to me, well, it's still making money, Kev, I'm getting bookings, but yeah, how many more bookings would you get if the photos were good? And also, would you be able to therefore increase your night rate? So would you be able to earn more money if you had professional photos? And here's the thing that a lot of people don't know when it comes to serviced accommodation, is the time it takes for people to literally scroll to the next listing when they are searching on Airbnb and booking.com is 0.4 of a second. Okay, so 0.4 of a second is basically what you've got to get people's attention when it comes to them clicking on your listing and having a look at the other photos that you've got on your listing. And often the initial photo that they see is not grabbing their attention. It's not wowing them enough, because that could be your iPhone photo, and then they move on. And you know what? You didn't get booked. And the other mistake that people make with their photos in service accommodation is that they only, even if they do get professional photos, they only have a few photos. And you know what? The algorithm for Airbnb and booking.com is that you need 26 plus professional photos for the algorithm to the OTA to recognize that you are a professional operator and you know what you're doing, and they know that how you do anything is how you do everything, and therefore they literally boost the visibility of your listing if you have professional photos and more than 26. And also, by the way, you mustn't use portrait photos when you are doing your providing your photos for your listings. They have to be landscape. Yeah, so the algorithm on the OTAs prefers landscape photos. So really, really important that you're getting professional photos done. And you know what, the photographer was just explaining to me how he takes several photos, and they can crop and merge and do other things, and it just brings out a lot more detail, and you can block out stuff that you don't want in your photos, and all of the different editing that you can do with professional photos, more than you can do with your iPhone photos. And I took a little walk from the hotel, because we've got an SA house also just nearby the hotel. So that's the house there, just behind me. And we were literally here doing photos in that property as well. So that's an ex-HMO of mine that I now use as serviced accommodation, whole house essay. And we were here taking photos as well. And you know what? You only get one chance to get your photos right. So you'll notice now that the house is in shadow, okay? Whereas earlier on this morning, the house was being bathed in sunlight. And so that is when I made sure the photographer was here to take the photos, because you should also always show what the property looks like from the outside as well, so that guests don't turn up and get a nasty shock. You know, they need to see the outside photos of the property. And my car is currently in the way. You'll see my car there. But what did I do? I parked it outside the house when there was a free parking space. And then when the photos were done, I moved the car out of the way so that it was not blocking out the actual scenery or blocking out any of the house, etc. And, you know, the house itself, I had somebody go run upstairs to close curtains and to make sure that all the windows matched and all of that good stuff. So luckily we got a nice day to have the photos done. And so that's important. You can't always do that, but again, with professional photos, the image can be enhanced to make it look as nice as possible. And photographers, they can do things like put in blue skies above and, you know, edit them to make them look nicer. But luckily we had a nice day, so that definitely helps with the light. And, you know, for the photos inside both the apart hotel and in the SA house, we had, you know, the cheese and grapes and croissants and, you know, fruit and wine, red and white wine. And so these are just, you know, lifestyle images. You're not actually suggesting to your guests that you are providing that. Okay, so they were actually, you know, the wine, for instance, in glasses, the cheese was out and, you know, on a chopping board. It's not like you're suggesting that you're giving your guests that when they check in. And what it does is it's selling the lifestyle photos to the guests, and they are imagining what it's going to be like in your property with a nice glass of wine, enjoying some nice cheese and some grapes and whatever it may be, some croissants for the morning with some lovely coffee. So all of those things are lifestyle shots that are going to enhance the chances of you getting a booking. So top tips: professional photos need to be done. And guess what? Myself and Caroline, we're here in Plymouth. So we made the decision to come to Plymouth in order to be here for the photographer, because, you know, when you know what you're doing, when you know what sells the benefits the best, you can be in front of the photographer. And today we've been moving plants around, you know, we've been moving pictures because it's important to have the right picture in the shot. And we'll go and get extra. We decided we'll get some extra plants and some extra pictures and all of that good stuff, just so that the guests will get that. But for the photos, it was just important to enhance the photos at the time. So therefore we were in front of the photographer, making sure each room was right. And yes, professional photographers know what they're doing, but quite often when it comes to service accommodation, you need to actually say, can you just make sure you get a photo of that and a photo of that? An example, you put the television on and so that the guests can see that it's got Netflix showing. That's an example of something that the photographer might not know is really important to you as an SA operator. And you're selling the benefits that you've got smart televisions in the rooms and other stuff, right? So hopefully that was useful, everybody. There's lots of top tips in this video. Be there for when your photographer is there. Make sure that you use a professional photographer. Make sure that you're taking 26 plus photos or getting 26 plus photos, and that's going to cost more than just 10. But guess what? You'll make more money from that. And make sure that you've got landscape photos for your listings. So hopefully found that useful. Here's to your success in serviced accommodation. If you've got any questions or comments, please type them below. And remember, from me, Property Soldier, your future needs you. Take care. See you soon.